Question 101. Always try to back toward the driver's side because answers. A. You can see better watching the vehicle rear out the side window. B. Your truck will naturally pull toward the driver's side. C. It's more comfortable for turning your neck. D. All of the above. The correct answer is A. Explanation. You should always back toward the driver's side because you will be able to see things much more easily. For example, you can keep an eye on the vehicle's rear by viewing it out of your side window. If your truck pulls toward either direction, it needs service. Your neck's comfort should not affect your safety decision. Question 102. The minimum tire tread depth for front tires is. Answers. A. 4/32 inch. B. 1/32 inch. C. A half inch. D. 3/8 inch. The correct answer is A. Explanation. The minimum is 4/32 inch depth for tire treads on front tires, while all other tires require at least 2/32 inch tread depth. Question 103. You should inspect wheel bearing seals for. Answers. A. Leaking. B. Tears. C. Broken leaf springs. D. Twisted axles. The correct answer is A. Explanation. Like many seals on your vehicle, the most likely problem with wheel bearing seals will be leaking, so you should look for moisture around the seal and drops or a puddle underneath it. Question 104. In your emergency kit, you do not need to have. Answers. A. A spare jacket. B. Warning devices. C. Spare electrical fuses. D. A fire extinguisher. The correct answer is A. Explanation. While a jacket might keep you comfortable, it is not a required part of your emergency kit. You must have a working fire extinguisher, warning devices, and spare electrical fuses unless your vehicle has circuit breakers. Question 105. Total stopping distance is a combination of. Answers. A. Reaction distance plus viewing distance plus braking distance. B. Braking distance plus stopping distance. C. Perception distance plus reaction distance plus braking distance. D. Reaction distance plus braking distance. The correct answer is C. Explanation. Total stopping distance is a combination of your perception distance, how far the vehicle goes from when you see the hazard until your brain processes it, reaction distance, the amount of time from your brain informing your foot to take action until your foot actually does something, and braking distance, how long it takes to stop once you press the brake. CDL test. Master your CDL exam in no time. Download now. Question 106. Which of the following is not something you should check during a trip? Answers. A. Text messages. B. Mirrors. C. Cargo and cargo covers. D. Tires. The correct answer is A. Explanation. You should keep an eye on all of your vehicle's key systems during your trip, such as the instruments, gauges, tires, voltmeter, mirrors, and cargo. Make sure you put your phone away for the entire journey. Question 107. If you have a second conviction for DUI while operating either a CMV or your personal vehicle, what is the minimum amount of time you will lose your CDL privileges? Answers: A. 10 years minimum. B. Life. C. 5 years minimum. D. 2 years minimum. The correct answer is B. Explanation: while there are serious consequences for a first DUI conviction, regardless of what you're driving, the state of Massachusetts gives you an opportunity to get help and turn your life around before you lose your CDL privileges. A second conviction takes that chance away due to federal laws and means you'll have to seek a new profession. Question 108. How many hours of sleep does the average person need per night or risk accumulating sleep debt? Answers: A. 6 to 7 hours. B. 6 to 8 hours. C. 8 to 9 hours. D. 7 to 8 hours. The correct answer is D. Explanation: sleep debt is a dangerous condition in which missing sleep adds up, and you risk falling asleep at the wheel until you are fully rested. People are often surprised when they find out that getting less than 6 hours of sleep per night triples your risk of accident. Question 109. You don't want to be a distracted driver, so you. Answers: A. Only read maps or your phone when there are no cars around you. B. Have all your emotionally hard conversations in the first hour of driving. C. Smoke, eat, and drink during straight portions of the road. D. Turn off your cell phone until you reach your destination. The correct answer is D. Explanation: tasks that makes you a distracted driver always make you distracted, whether you think it's an easy portion of your trip or a straight section of the road. Do not eat, drink, smoke, text, read, or have difficult conversations while driving. In an ideal situation, turn off your phone and keep it off until you are done driving for the day. Question 110. What happens when you let the air out of hot tires? Answers: A. This is a bad idea because when the tires cool off, the pressure will be too low. B. It has no effect at all. C. It will cool them down. You will be able to continue your journey sooner. D. This is a good idea, so the extra pressure is relieved. The correct answer is A. Explanation: when tires get hot, the air pressure rises. However, relieving that pressure will leave the air pressure too low later, and the tires may then catch fire or blow out. It will also not have a cooling effect. If your tires are too hot to touch, stop until they have cooled down. Question 111. How can you determine if your vehicle is equipped with ABS? Answers: A. Check if your vehicle was manufactured after March 1, 1998, they are required to have the panel light. B. Check for yellow ABS malfunction lamps on the instrument panel. C. Look for wheel speed sensor wires that are coming from the rear of your brakes. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. Explanation: most vehicles now will have a light on the instrument panel that will illuminate briefly When the vehicle is started to alert you about the ABS, but you can always check for wires from your brakes. Question 112. The definition of a hazard is. Answers: A. A road user or road condition that could be a possible danger. B. Something you can easily avoid. C. Something you must stop for. D. Something you can safely ignore. The correct answer is A. Explanation: a hazard is something that could go wrong, but it won't if you've been vigilant. Question 113. How often must you stop to check your cargo while on the road? Answers: A. After each break you take while you're driving. B. All of these. C. Within the first 50 miles. D. Every 3 hours or 150 miles. The correct answer is B. Explanation: while the rules vary by jurisdiction, it's a good idea to check your cargo within the beginning 50 miles of your journey. Although you should then check it as necessary, the manual recommends every 3 hours or 150 miles as a rule of thumb. Question 114. How many seconds does it take for a normal tractor-trailer to clear a double track? Answers: A. 14 seconds. B. More than 15 seconds. C. 10 seconds. D. More than 30 seconds. The correct answer is B. Explanation: you can expect it to take more than 15 seconds for a regular tractor-trailer to clear a double track and 14 seconds to be safely over a single track. Question 115. Which of the following is a key steering component? Answers: A. Leaf spring. B. Gearbox. C. Torque rod. D. Bearing plate. The correct answer is B. Explanation: the gearbox is an integral part of the steering system. All the other options are key pieces of the suspension system. Question 116. What is the best way to figure out how many seconds of following distance you have? Answers: A. Wait until a vehicle passes a shadow or landmark, then count the seconds until you pass it. B. Text a friend and tell them to text you back in 10 seconds and see how long that seemed to take compared to how far you traveled. C. Use the stopwatch on your phone to try to determine how long before you reach a mile marker after the car in front of you appeared to reach it. D. Get 1/4 closer to the car in front of you, then back off again. Multiply how long this took you by 4 for following distance. The correct answer is A. Explanation: count how long it takes you to reach the landmark after the car in front of you by counting like so: 1001, 1002, and you will have your following distance in seconds. All the other methods are dangerous and will not get you a true following distance. Remember, following distance needs to be increased in traffic, bad weather, for heavy vehicles, or at higher speeds. Question 117. While driving at night, which lights should you use as often as you can? Answers: A. Novelty lights. B. Low beams. C. Emergency flashers. D. High beams. The correct answer is D. Explanation: when driving at night, you should be using your high beams to expand your field of vision as often as possible, as long as it is safe and legal, and you will not blind any other drivers. The rule of thumb is to put them on as long as there are no approaching vehicles within 500 feet. Question 118. To transport cargo safely, which of these are you not responsible for? Answers: A. Ensuring the freshness of sealed cargo. B. Recognizing possible overloads. C. Inspecting the cargo. D. Making sure that cargo is properly secured. The correct answer is A. Explanation: you are not responsible for the state of sealed cargo, nor can you inspect it. You are only responsible for the safety of the cargo, ensuring that it is balanced, secured, and not overloaded, and does not get in the way of emergency equipment. Question 119. According to the manual, how far ahead should drivers look while driving? Answers: A. 7 to 12 seconds. B. 10 to 12 seconds. C. 5 to 10 seconds. D. 12 to 15 seconds. The correct answer is D. Explanation: good drivers look ahead for 12 to 15 seconds, i.e., the distance that your CMV will travel in 12 to 15 seconds. At highway speeds, this could mean roughly a quarter of 1 mile. Question 120. What constitutes a hazardous materials placard? Answers: A. Signs on the outside of the vehicle that identify the hazard class of cargo. B. Signs on the inside of the vehicle that remind the driver what he or she is carrying. C. Signs that help tax collectors determine how much to tax a hazardous cargo. D. Signs that warn the public to stay at least 1,000 feet away from the vehicle. The correct answer is A. Explanation: hazardous materials placards are 4 regulated signs on the outside of the vehicle that identify the hazard class of the cargo for those who need to know, such as emergency service personnel or those who load and unload cargo. CDL test. Master your CDL exam in no time. Download now. Question 121. Which of the following determines the safe speed for going down a steep downgrade? Answers: A. The road conditions. B. All of these. C. The total weight of the vehicle and cargo. D. The steepness of the grade. The correct answer is B. Explanation: there are several factors that help you decide upon a safe speed for going down a steep downgrade, including its steepness, length, the road and weather conditions, and your vehicle and cargo weight. Question 122. Where should you place your warning devices if you must stop on a one-way or divided highway? Answers: A. 10 feet, 100 feet, and 200 feet toward approaching traffic. B. 100 feet, 200 feet, and 300 feet toward approaching traffic. C. 50 feet, 100 feet, and 150 feet toward approaching traffic. D. 20 feet, 50 feet, and 100 feet toward approaching traffic. The correct answer is A. Explanation: on a one-way or divided highway, you want to stretch your warning devices out but still have them close enough to the vehicle that it makes it clear you are stopped. Devices at 10, 100, and 200 feet accomplish this goal. Question 123. How can you start moving without rolling backward? Answers: A. Apply the hand valve. B. Engage the clutch before removing your foot from the brake. C. Put on the parking brake whenever necessary. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. Explanation: if you have a manual transmission vehicle, partly engage the clutch before you take your right foot off the brake. Put on the parking brake whenever necessary to keep from rolling back. Release the parking brake only when you have applied enough engine power to keep from rolling back. On a tractor-trailer equipped with a trailer brake hand valve, the hand valve can be applied to keep from rolling back. Question 124. On wet roads, you should reduce your speed by. Answers: A. 1/4. B. 1/3. C. 60%. D. 1/2. The correct answer is B. Explanation: when a road is wet, stopping distance is reduced, and you should slow your speed by 1/3. In snow, decrease further to 1/2 your normal speed. On icy roads, you should be slowing to a crawl and getting off the road to install chains on your tires. Question 125. What is not one of the 4 skill areas that operating a commercial vehicle requires? Answers: A. Accelerating. B. Safely backing. C. First aid certification. D. Steering. The correct answer is C. Explanation: while first aid certification could certainly come in handy at some point during your career, it is not one of the 4 skill areas mentioned that you must be proficient in for safe vehicle operation. Question 126. Is it true that, as long as the engine is not overheated, it is completely safe to remove the radiator cap? Answers: A. Yes, as long as there is no overflow. B. No. C. Yes. D. Yes, as long as the radiator isn't damaged. The correct answer is B. Explanation: it is not enough for the engine not to be overheated. The system should have cooled completely before you even attempt to remove the radiator cap, and even then, you should be very careful as there may be tremendous pressure and damaging steam and fluids. Question 127. Do empty trucks have the best braking? Answers: A. No. B. Yes, but only if the truck is newer than 1998. C. Yes. D. Yes, but only on wet surfaces. The correct answer is A. Explanation: trucks brake best when they are being used as they were designed to carry a properly balanced load. It might seem that empty trucks should be able to stop sooner, but they actually have greater stopping distances because they have less traction. Question 128. How many tie-downs are required for a 20-foot load? Answers: A. 1 tie-down. B. 3 tie-downs. C. 2 tie-downs. D. 4 tie-downs. The correct answer is C. Explanation: the rule is that you should have one tie-down per 10 feet of cargo, and you must have at least 2 per load, regardless of the length. So for 20 feet, you would have 2. Question 129. Which of the following statements about retarders is correct? Answers: A. Retarders help slow a vehicle, reducing the need for using your brakes. B. You should turn the retarder off whenever the road is wet, icy, or snow-covered. C. All of these answers are correct. D. When your drive wheels have poor traction, the retarder may cause them to skid. The correct answer is C. Explanation: while retarders can help reduce the need for your brakes, they can make it more likely for you to skid in inclement weather or whenever your wheels experience poor traction. Because of this, you should always turn off your retarders in poor weather. Question 130. An anti-lock braking system will. Answers: A. Increase a vehicle's ultimate stopping power. B. Let you drive faster. C. Keep your brakes from locking up when you brake hard. D. Shorten your stopping distance. The correct answer is C. Explanation: ABS only really kicks in to save you from overbraking and will not change the way you normally brake. It doesn't stop you from needing to engage in careful braking and defensive driving and is no substitution for good brakes and maintenance. It will, however, save you from having your brakes lock and getting in an accident. Question 131. To help you stay alert and safe while driving, you should. Answers: A. Avoid medications with warning labels. B. Have a whiskey to brace yourself. C. Drink coffee if you get drowsy. D. Roll down your windows to get fresh air. The correct answer is A. Explanation: be careful with medications that warn you they may cause drowsiness. If you have a concern about prescribed medications, speak to your doctor. Do not ever try to make up for sleepiness with coffee, fresh air, or especially alcohol. The only cure for being tired is sleeping until you are rested. Question 132. What will help a drunk sober up? Answers: A. Fresh air. B. Time. C. A glass of water. D. Coffee. The correct answer is B. Explanation: there is no fast answer for getting the alcohol out of your system since it is inside your bloodstream. Coffee and fresh air will not do the trick. You must wait until you are sober or risk losing your CDL if you drive. While country songs say love will help, we recommend you don't risk it. Question 133. Which of the following causes vehicle fires? Answers: A. Driver smoking in a rest area. B. Spilled fuel cleaned up quickly and properly. C. Short circuits and loose connections. D. Flammable cargo with proper ventilation. The correct answer is C. Explanation: while all of the things mentioned have the potential for danger, it is only when they meet the right conditions that they can cause a fire, such as short circuits and loose connections. All the other causes, if properly managed, will not spark a fire. Question 134. What can you do at an accident site to help avoid another accident? Answers: A. Leave your vehicle, do nothing, and get to higher ground. B. Stay in your vehicle and do nothing until help arrives. C. Have a drink to calm your nerves. D. Put out warning devices so people don't run into the accident site. The correct answer is D. Explanation: as a truck driver, it is your job to make sure that people can see your vehicle at an accident scene unless you are injured. Put your warning devices out as quickly as possible to avoid further accidents, such as a pileup. Question 135. Starting the engine and inspecting the cab involves each of these tasks, except. Answers: A. Starting the engine, then putting the gear shift in neutral. B. Checking the air pressure gauge. C. Starting the engine, then listening for unusual noises. D. Checking the transmission controls. The correct answer is A. Explanation: please note that the question contains an except clause. When performing this part of the inspection, however, you must put the gear shift in neutral, then start the engine and listen for any unusual noises. Once you perform the engine check, you will check all your gauges and controls, such as the air pressure gauge and transmission controls. Question 136. What might happen if you swing wide to the left before you turn right? Answers: A. You might damage your leaf springs. B. All of the above. C. Someone might try to pass you on your right. D. Someone might try to pass you on your left. The correct answer is C. Explanation: if you swing wide, a driver may try to pass on your right while you are turning. Instead, make the turn with the rear of your vehicle as close to the curb as possible and turn widely, without allowing them room on the right to pass. Question 137. During your pre-trip test, when examining hoses with the instructor, you need to look for. Answers: A. Puddles on the ground. B. Frays in the water pump belt. C. The location of the dipstick. D. Low windshield washer fluid level. The correct answer is A. Explanation: during your pre-trip test, when inspecting hoses, you need to look for signs of leaks and cracks, such as puddles on the ground, fluids that are dripping on the underside of the engine or transmission, and check hoses for leaks or problems. Question 138. Which of the following should you do when confronted by an aggressive driver? Answers: A. All of the above. B. Avoid eye contact. C. Ignore rude gestures and refuse to react negatively. D. If you can safely do it, call the police from a cell phone. The correct answer is A. Explanation: when an aggressive driver is trying to confront you, do not give them the confrontation that they want. Instead, seek police, peace, and safety. Question 139. Which two special conditions indicate that you should downshift? Answers: A. Starting down a hill and entering a curve. B. Starting up a hill and finishing a curve. C. Starting down a hill and finishing a curve. D. Starting up a hill and entering a curve. The correct answer is A. Explanation: Downshifting before starting down a hill allows you to take advantage of engine braking. You should downshift to the gear required, which is usually lower than the gear required to climb the hill. Downshifting before a curve improves stability and ensures you will have the power available to accelerate out of the turn. Question 140. It has just reached freezing. Which of the following areas is slippery? Answers: A. All of the above. B. A shaded area. C. A bridge. D. A wet-looking road. The correct answer is A. Explanation: once the temperature dips down to freezing, some areas of the road will start to freeze. The first to go will be areas without sun, shaded areas, and bridges. If the road appears wet, that could also herald the arrival of black ice, a thin layer of slippery ice through which you can see the actual road. CDL test. Master your CDL exam in no time. Download now. Question 141. Why is it important to use a helper when backing? Answers: A. Because people feel more comfortable when you do. B. Because you are providing a job for someone else. C. Because you have blind spots. D. All of the above. The correct answer is C. Explanation: using a helper when you are backing is important since you will be dealing with blind spots that you are completely unable to see. Before you start, work out hand signals for stop and go. Question 142. You should place the starter switch key into your pocket while you are performing the pre-trip inspection because. Answers: A. Someone could steal the truck. B. It could damage the starting mechanism. C. All of the above. D. Someone could start and move the truck. The correct answer is D. Explanation: when you are performing the pre-trip inspection, you do not want someone, such as a co-driver, to start your vehicle while unaware of your location and accidentally injure you. Question 143. If you double your speed, how much more distance will it take to stop? Answers: A. 4 times as much. B. 5 times as much. C. Twice as much. D. 3 times as much. The correct answer is A. Explanation: when doubling your speed, your stopping distance increases significantly to almost 4 times as much as before. For example, increasing your speed from 15 to 30 miles per hour will increase your stopping distance from 46 to 148 feet. Question 144. Before transporting a sealed load, you must check. Answers: A. That you don't exceed gross weight and axle weight limits. B. A small sample of whatever is inside. C. A picture of whatever is inside. D. All of the above. The correct answer is A. Explanation: while you cannot actually inspect sealed loads, it's still your responsibility to ensure that you do not exceed your axle weight limits and your gross weight restrictions, so check them both. Question 145. The most important hand signal you should agree on with a helper is answers A. Stop. B. Faster. C. Turn up the music. D. Go. The correct answer is A. Explanation. Unfortunately, once an accident happens, you can't take it back. That's why it's absolutely essential that you and your helper have a very clear hand signal for stop so that you'll be able to stop what you are doing quickly before an incident occurs. Question 146. What is the gross vehicle weight, GVW? Answers A. The total weight that includes the vehicle, towed vehicles, and the load. B. The total weight of a single vehicle and its load. C. All of the above. D. A vehicle's maximum weight rating specified by its manufacturer. The correct answer is B. Explanation. GVW is the simplest of the vehicle weight explanations, standing for just a single vehicle and the load that it is carrying. Question 147. Which of the following can you not use a BC fire extinguisher on? Answers A. Electrical fire. B. Wood. C. Gasoline fire. D. Grease fire. The correct answer is B. Explanation. A BC fire extinguisher is no use on anything that you can normally use regular water on, which includes wood, paper, and cloth. These require an ABC fire extinguisher or just an A fire extinguisher. Question 148. What action should you take before driving while drowsy? Answers A. Drink energy drinks. B. Open your vehicle windows for some fresh air. C. Pull off the road and get some sleep. D. Drink a cup of coffee. The correct answer is C. Explanation. If you are drowsy, you cannot make that feeling disappear by drinking a significant amount of coffee or other caffeinated beverages or by getting cold air. They may make you feel more alert momentarily, but the only real solution is solid rest, so get off the road as soon as possible. Question 149. Which of the following is most likely to get stuck on raised railroad crossings? Answers A. A single-axle tractor pulling a regular trailer. B. An empty moving van. C. A single-axle tractor making a return journey empty. D. A low-slung car carrier. The correct answer is D. Explanation. Emptier vehicles ride higher, which is a problem for overhead clearance but can be a boon when it comes to clearing crossings. A filled moving fan might have trouble, but an empty one should be fine. On the other hand, a filled low-slung unit, like a car carrier, may be in trouble. Question 150. Which of the following individuals definitely qualifies for an off-highway CDL? Answers A. A farm employee in Anchorage. B. All of these. C. Individual in a rural area. D. Individual who is transporting food. The correct answer is C. Explanation. Only individuals in rural areas qualify for off-highway CDLs, and if an individual needs to start transporting goods on the highway, they must then apply for a non-restricted CDL, as off-highway CDLs do not require a skills test.